Hello and welcome back, friends, family, and frenemies. Our hyperdrive's deactivated. Our reactor core is locked in recharge mode, so it's time to stream. Well, last week was, Monday last week. Monday was once again not as productive as we had hoped for the Synesis trial in the wormhole. So that's kind of an unfortunate thing for us. Not much you can do about that. That's just kind of the nature of wormholes. However, this time we're going to be moving on. We're not going to keep going. Well, there's one last thing I'll probably do with the Synesis. I'm actually going to check and see how it does inside of the abyssals. We'll kind of poke around with that for a little bit, see how that works. If it can work at all. Aside from that, we're also going to be looking at the Gnosis, now that the Gnosis has been unlocked for it. Gnosis. We'll see kind of what kinds of fits we can look at with it, how, PvE, PvP wise. Final exam of the semester. Yeah. Thanks, Yelga, and it's so awesome to hear that you've gotten through all of your final exams. Congratulations. You should totally feel good about that. Actually, speaking of that, shout out to my daughter who just graduated high school. Grats to you, kiddo. She's probably not watching this, but still, grats to her, because that's awesome stuff. And grats to all the grads out there on planet Earth. I know that is not an easy thing to do. Graduating high school is very, very stress-inducing. But yeah. Anyways, Yelga, we are looking forward to those BNN editions. Take your time. Fun comes first. As always, fun comes first. But yeah, so we'll be looking at the Gnosis, seeing what kinds of things we can actually do with it, what its capabilities are. And of course, there's news. There's and good news for us too. There's been some Sov map updates, so we can take a look and kind of drill into those a little bit. Some pretty cool side things going on. Looks like actually Triumvirate might be making a real return. I'm kind of impressed to see changes in that regard. And then from there, so yeah, like I said, Gnosis, news, Gnosis, shenanigan fitting things. We'll try the Synesis in the Abyssal, and if it dies in a glorious ball of fire, then it dies in a glorious ball of fire. No problem. So yeah, let's go ahead and get over to it then. And see what it says. See what we can find out. All right, and as if to feature the Gnosis, that's what CCP has put there as their graphic for their latest article, which is Eve Anywhere, which is now available for alphas. And it says here, Intrepid Capsuleers, starting today, alpha pilots can now take advantage of Eve Anywhere, the revolutionary cloud-based platform that puts New Eden directly in your browser of choice. Eve Anywhere has been developed in close collaboration with our trusted partner, Intel, and allows you to play Eve on the go through Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and Edge, whether you're on a PC or tablet. This partnership provides Eve pilots with access to high-capacity computing power via the cloud, as and when it's needed. Whether you're fighting, mining, or building an industrial empire, Eve Anywhere can help you switch seamlessly between client and browser-based play. Excuse me. Alpha players can enjoy 24 hours of Eve Anywhere in exchange for 30 plex. The service will also be rolled out into more territories later on this year as we work towards our ultimate goal of releasing Eve Anywhere everywhere. This phase of Eve Anywhere wouldn't be possible without the feedback we've received from our outstanding Omega Beta pilots, and we thank you for the continued support. So, for those of you that don't know, Eve Anywhere is, as CCP has said, this is their browser-based version of Eve Online. It's totally cloud-based, so think pretty similar to like NVIDIA's Shield technology. You know, just have this little box that does all the gaming stuff. You just plug it like into a TV or something, and it's totally cloud-based, right? You've got some Android and Google-based stuff going on too, in kind of a similar regard for gaming. So you can play those like high-end games like Witcher 3 and whatnot, without actually having to download the full game. It's just streamed directly to your computer or TV. This is kind of in a similar vein to that. And it's really good to see that CCP is taking this into the next step and enabling it for alpha pilots, even if it is locked behind a bit of a paywall. So that's probably the only unfortunate thing, is that it is locked behind a paywall. But it's cloud computing, so to a degree I can understand it. I hope they keep iterating on it though, because it is good technology to actually have at your hands, you know. Let's see here. The next thing up on the list is the Abyssal Proving Grounds Sunesis Free-for-All between the 20th and 23rd of May. This is our second Capsuleer Day Proving Grounds event. Celebratory Capsuleers. As this year's Capsuleer Day event comes to a close, you'll soon be able to wrap up the party in explosive style with an exciting new Proving Grounds. With 19 years of EVE's space saga under our belts, the next FFA Proving Grounds features a very fitting set of special conditions. They've got here 19% increase to turret and missile damage, 19% increase to ship velocity, sensor strength, reduction in ship signature radius. The ship of choice this time is the Sunesis, making this one party where everyone's invited. The meta level requirement is 0, but the usual restrictions apply. When planning your fits, keep in mind the following modules are banned: sensor dampeners, weapon disruptors, shield boost amplifiers, shield rechargers, shield power relays, shield flux coils, core defense field purgers. Really? Okay. I honestly don't know what the point is to banning some things, but I can understand probably that there's a balance that they've struck here, and to not upset that balance is probably why they've done those things. But things like the core defense field purger seems strange to me. To liven up the party further, the arena itself will also add some explosive new features. Expect a number of Nexus objects scattered throughout the combat area. Approach them and you'll gain a 19% buff or debuff to your weapons and mobility. This second of 2 special Capsuleer Day APGs will run from 20th to the 23rd of May. Start optimizing your fits for a suitable send-off to this year's celebrations. And I know there's at least one or two Proving Grounds aficionados that are probably really interested in this. So I'm glad to see that they're, well, I guess that actually at the beginning, I'm glad to see that they're doing stuff like this. This is a great way to kind of flesh out the Triglavian side of things in at least some small way. So. Okay. Still going on. Last thing on the CCP side of things is the patch notes. We didn't really have much in the way of patch notes this time around, since between Monday and today. There were a couple of notes. They changed a billboard. They added a billboard video to the rotation advertising the Anger Games 5 player-run PvP tournament. So that's cool. You know, getting some player content into the game, you know, and advertised like that is actually really good. New player experience got some fix. Conversation guidance during the skills introduction will now appear correctly. PvE for some reason got 2 separate sections here. They fixed an issue with target painting from the Smuggler Rapier NPC. They changed active division. Changing active division no longer results in the wallet turning black. So for those of you that love to change your active division on the regular, or even maybe not on the regular, changing it at all, you know, you you won't, it won't go black. Oh. The sell items window no longer has overlapping elements. That's actually good. I think I saw that the other day. So I'm glad to see that they fixed that. Beyond that, we've got some SOV changes like I was mentioning previously. The map as a whole hasn't changed. There are a couple of key differences. Star Trails Alliance lost a couple of places. Triumvirate gained quite a bit. They also kicked out Fast Kick and Ferrata Victorix from a couple of their systems. And if we look down in Esoterra, we can see Tri's got quite a bit of space. You know, what could possibly go wrong? But no, it's kind of interesting to see this. Also, oh, let me zoom that in a little bit. And you probably can't tell specifically because I have my zoom settings. How was it? There we go. Let's see if I can get this pulled down a little bit more. Sorry in Advance has two systems here. Most of their systems are over here. So I'm wondering if this was taken before this particular map was updated for us to see. XIX had some drama go on with goons invading there. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense then. That's probably part of it then. So that's you got like Cosmic Accords over here too. Absolute Will's got some space. The Dragon Dynasty. These are all groups that I don't think I've actually seen here before. Yeah, here's Cosmic Coalition again. Cosmic Accord, Cosmic Coalition. Okay. So yeah, there's a bit going on down there, and it's getting crazy. There's Spaceship Family. So, also another thing I noticed while I was looking through the map up here, No Value's got a couple of systems all of a sudden. Except all their Sino Jammers were in one hauler that got killed. Ooh. That's no good. So XIX had goons invading their space, and all their Sino Jammers were in one hauler that got killed. Is that how I'm understanding that went down? If so, that sucks. Very bad. If we look at the coalition map, hang on, let me actually zoom this back down to 100. There we go. If we look at the coalition map, you know, neutral states basically just the whole way, because that's what's going on in Esoterra. So let's see here. So here's the Imperium. Fire Wrecking Crew. Okay. Yeah, because Fire still got that big chunk right there. They started claiming right here. So it's basically just a bunch of neutral states changes. It's not anything from like the big blocks yet. I guess we'll have to see and wait and see how that goes. Leadership doesn't trust each other. So one leadership was hauling everything. People were embezzling funds. Oh, well. Talk about juicy. Gotta love the Eve drama. Just kind of just spills out from the maw, right? Fun, you know, money embezzlement or Isk embezzlement, and you know, people not trusting people when they're trying to do the same thing is crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I'm telling you. The only other thing of note is on the faction warfare side. Galente Federation lost some SOV. Caldari State gained it. It is Akidagi. And that actually, I believe, it's in Black Rise, so I'm pretty sure this is it. I think this is the system. That's a hostile uncontested. So it's probably this one right here. Probably this little patch system right here. be on the lookout for some cool changes to faction warfare too. They did promise us that in FanFest the other week, so this is really gonna kind of help us out, I think, you know, in getting some more content, you know, brought into faction warfare space. For those of you who are curious, the Sov map does have a list of occupied by hostiles, and Aki Dagi has of course joined that list, from my understanding. Is pretty sure it actually belongs to Galente, or it's supposed to belong to Galente. I'm gonna open up another tab because I'm gonna need that. And that's pretty much it as far as like news stuff goes. I got a side thing to look at. Why is this? I'm not sure really why my OBS light is red, but I guess we won't worry about that. Let's go ahead and switch on over, and we'll get into the Gnosis. As you can see, I'm still rocking, flying around in the Sunesis. I actually just got to Samela earlier, but the big thing is going to be the Gnosis. I'm going to go ahead and redeem both of these. So the Gnosis is like the Sunesis. It's got a requirement of Spaceship Command 1, which means anybody can fly it. Literally anybody can fly it. Alpha, Omega, 500,000 SP, 500 million SP, or, well, I guess it doesn't go up that high, but you get what I mean. Its traits are very similar to the Sunesis. 25% bonus to medium energy turret, hybrid turret, medium projectile turret. Whereas with the Sunesis, it was all small stuff. This one is specifically for medium weapons. You've got a 50% bonus to command burst area of effect range, 25% bonus to heavy missile and heavy assault missile, 50% bonus to drone hit points and damage, and then of course the 37.5% bonus to core and combat scanner probe strength. This one can use one command burst module, and if you look at its fitting here, its fitting requirements, it has 5 turret hard points, 6 high slots, 6 mediums, 6 low, and it's got 400 points of calibration for mods, or for rigs. There we go. And that's new. What am I looking at here? Oh, that's my inventory. Okay. That's why that looked different. That's right. They did recently update that. So yeah. That's the Gnosis in a nutshell. There are many different ways you can fit out a Gnosis. There are, you can do it for attacking and brawling. Like I had said previously, when I was doing some wormhole shenanigans with some friends in a non-spoopy, non-brave corp, I used a ham fit Gnosis in order to go out and fly with them, and I had a whole lot of fun with that thing. But there's also, like, as an alpha, you know, if you need something, now obviously this is going to be a little bit higher SP requirement, which, by the way, I got some skill points, but yeah, we're looking at like a higher SP requirement because you are going to need those medium weapons, or you're going to need access to heavy missiles or something like that. So if you go to heavy missiles, for instance, and you just focus on those because those are actually a little bit easier, I believe, to get into. Let me check. There's heavy assaults. There's heavy missiles. The requirements. Oh, okay. I guess it is light missiles 3. So either way, I mean, you'd have to go through light missiles. And hams, I think, are kind of the same way. Yeah, light missiles 3. So you kind of got those with the way they're done. Let me go ahead and apply these skill points to this. Just help that out. So while it is a slightly higher SP requirement as far as just being able to utilize this particular ship, being able to hop into it immediately, you could probably fit this out. I mean, it's a battle cruiser. If I'm not mistaken. It's actually defined as a battle cruiser. Yeah, combat battle cruiser. There it is. So there's it being a battle cruiser means that it would be more capable of handling like the level 3 missions. I'm not sure if it would really handle level 4s. As an alpha, you wouldn't be able to jump into level 4s, so that's not as big of a deal. But and it probably wouldn't. I'm not sure if it would be able to handle abyssals either, like level 3s. I would think it wouldn't be as good as the Gila, but I could be wrong. It does handle like C3 wormholes, I believe. If fitted out properly, it can also be a great support for a C5 support wormhole fleet if you're doing routing in C5s. So that's as an aside, that's kind of a thing. Let's pull up Reiki's guide. Because ideally, if you were setting it up for a C3 wormhole, and honestly, I mean, you could just as easily just use it for a C2 and it'd be overkill, but you could do it. But like if you were doing it for a C3, you'd have to make sure you could handle like 678 DPS, 814 DPS, 787. These are the max DPS levels I'm finding. And that's the non-scannable sites. If you were doing, pretty sure I was handed a Gnosis when we did that C4 site. That was even higher, but it didn't matter at that point because it was like, oh hey, you know, there's like so many of us, it doesn't matter, we're gonna wipe it in a second. I don't know that I would do a C4 with it, but like a C3 would be something you might consider. You know, but you also need to be able to do a significant amount of damage as well. So like, let's say you're looking at, I mean, this could literally use anything. If you're doing it for a PvE perspective, you'd want to make sure you don't lose cap, or that you don't need to worry about losing cap. Things like projectiles or missiles. So like heavy missiles would probably be okay. We could do, where is, oh, I guess it helps if I'm actually on modules as opposed to, and then turrets and launchers. Here we go. Missile launchers. So like we could do We could also do we could do rapid lights. I don't think you can actually do rapid heavies because it would just eat up your it eats up your power grid. So like heavy launchers, for instance, could do some Malkuths and do that. I don't actually think you can utilize a command burst charger, but like, let's go ahead and throw in some Scourge heavies. So like, yeah, there's your overall DPS, right? You got a 1000 HP volley as your alpha damage, 91 DPS, 91.8 just alone with that. If you go back to your modules, go to drones, what did it say? Mediums? It just has drone hit points and damage. You've got a drone bay of 75 cubic meters and a bandwidth of 50 megabits a second. So if you wanted to do something, I would go mediums. And you'd probably honestly just want to do like, there we go, 50. So just do 5 like infiltrators, or you could even do like some hammerheads or Valkyries, just kind of whatever fits the, you know, whatever generally fits the what you're fighting against. If it's nullsec ratting, for instance, obviously you probably wouldn't use the Amar drones unless you were in space that has weakness to EM, for instance. What is this? RLS. Drones 5, medium drone 5, Caldari drone. It's a Caldari drone. That is new. I don't remember seeing that here. Okay then. We will look into that later. It clearly needs more skill points before we can use it. But either way, so like as an alpha, you would probably want to stick with the with the faction drones. You could do the tech ones, but it's probably just better to go faction. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's worth your time. Also, it raises up your DPS. AT drone that CCP never added. Oh, well, why am I seeing it in here then? Huh. That's strange. It's just weird to me that I'm actually seeing it in here, because like, yeah, it obviously didn't add one for light. They didn't add one for heavies, so I mean, other than the gecko, everyone loves geckos. But yeah, so added it. You can't build or attend it. Oh, okay. So they added it, but they don't have a way for you to get it. I see. That makes sense. Charlie placeholder. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like here's a subverted JVN. This is a limited time drone. Omega 1.5 code ARIA protocols. Yeah, so yeah, some strange drones and entire set of placeholder fighters. Really? Huh. Probably not. Well, at least you can get it in the game though, right? I mean, we can get it, right? Just have to be rich. Like Eve rich. But yeah, the infiltrator alone brings you up to 157.2 DPS on your drones alone, which is pretty impressive. If you do, and then from there, of course, we can expand. Now with the Gnosis, it's got, much like the Synesis, it's got a well-rounded everything. I would do... see if we can do some ballistic controls. Kind of increase that. Let's do some compacts. Let's actually drop these at the end. And then we'll do hull and armor, do damage control 2. And then from there, we would want to work on our shield system. So obviously we want to make sure we could recover our shields pretty effectively. We want our EHP to be high, things like that. If you're doing... here we go. If you're doing this based on, like, say, what you can do at a wormhole, there was somebody that actually did a great, like, how to crab guide. Ashian Space has articles on this kind of stuff, and they do have articles on, like, what to do with the Gnosis. But one in particular, they had stuff in here about a Gila. I'm trying to find that. Drake Myrmidon. Maybe it was in level 3. Well, here's the old Reiki's guide. This is actually going to be helpful for our specific, what I'm trying to do here. So like on a C2 wormhole, you'd have to do 500 DPS, but you also have to be able to, you know, tank so much. And we already can't tank anything here. I'll do passive fit. Well, let me try this. Okay, here we go. Yeah, because they actually do have like a Gnosis for C1s. They don't really have a Gnosis for C2s. Which seems strange to me because you should be able to actually do it. So I mean, already this is at 57 million. That's... well, I guess it's not that much because we already have the hull. We were doing the armor rep version. Oh, right. Okay, they're talking about... so... I would probably do, because we're looking at omni damage. Pretty sure you do shield recharge 2s. Yeah, shield upgrades 4. Do that. Actually, let's take this a step further. And let's do an extender. Do a couple regoliths. And that could. And then from there we can actually determine like what we need as far as damage resistances on the low end. Actually, might even be better to do. Okay, we don't need flux. We need the power relays. No. Oh, that's right. We would use this for. So then we'd probably want to do like drone upgrades. We could do a DDA. That's not Omega. That's not locked behind Omega. I think the 2 is. No, 2 is not. So if you can get to drones 4, weapon upgrades 4, and gunnery 2, which you should be able to. This is not locked behind Omega. It's just a intensive terrain is the biggest issue. That raises up your DPS quite significantly. And do you want to give us a bit of a buffer? I think the power relay 2 used. Yeah. Just to give us a bit more of a boost there. Because we're probably going to be. And then we'll have to go kind of active. Do compact, despec. That's actually better for us. It's surprising. Okay, I might get this one. Yeah, because your shield recharge time goes up. And we'll add another one. So that essentially, it does limit us because we are using capacitor at that point. So if we have to worry about our cap getting drained, I mean, then obviously we're gonna have problems. You can augment that with a cap battery if need be. Okay, that doesn't really give us that much speed. The 100 MN does. So we might do a 100 MN compact. And then put in one last large here. And that gives us quite a bit of power on the shield. So at that point, then, I mean, it's still a matter of making sure we have enough. We'd want to do both damage with our rigs. Yeah, so like I maybe pulse that. It's the same thing, really. They're just doing armor rather than shields. And I'd feel more comfortable doing something like this with shields. So with this, I'd probably look into see if you can do something with like, let's see here. So loading accelerator. How long does it actually take these to load? Rate of fire is 9.6 seconds. Reload time's 10 seconds. It's not too bad. A loading accelerator. Doesn't really tell me. It doesn't apply that. That's unfortunate. I don't know that I would use that anymore. It's like you're just not doing enough damage with the missile launcher. Like if you were to include yeah, something like that. I think that in hydraulic bay gives them, yeah, more flight range. So that's actually pretty good. That actually would be probably a good option. But I would probably still look into some shield rigs. You'd probably want to do like it doesn't have the best resistances for shields. Your Purger would give you more HP a second default, but it really kind of, the extender would probably be better. So otherwise you're kind of tailoring this to what you need at the time. I'd say probably a couple of extenders. And even then you could probably do like extender 2s if they're not too expensive. Where are they? There it is. Yeah, that's like, it's 20 million Isk. So it actually gets kind of expensive there. Even if you only just did one and saved the other one for like, I mean, they have some drone rigs, but last I knew they weren't really. Durability, repair, scope, chip, speed, damage. There's a damage one, I guess. I don't know that I would use it. You could easily do something like give yourself some extra turning power. your best bet's probably to put it back into missiles. You give yourself just a bit more. Oh gosh. All right, let's see if we can just. Okay, so that would essentially allow us to. Do califaction. And that's base damage, right? Yeah, missile damage. This of course doesn't account for like if you have to attack with frigates, but then again you've got your drones, so your drones would take out your frigates and destroyers while you're taking out cruisers with your missiles, because that's realistically that's where your missiles would go. Could probably even do a flare catalyst. Okay, avoiding radius. What about rigor? Signature radius. And the fuel is missile flight time. And hydraulic bay is missile velocity. Okay. Yeah, I'd probably just go with base damage. And you could remove that, and you could actually just drop a DDA2 and... Oh, guess not. Okay, what about, just using a compact. Nope. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Could just bit of power relay. Wow, this really just doesn't like me today. Okay. How about this? What about the restraints? There we go. Okay, so that fits at least with my skills. Obviously your high slot's empty. We could probably keep kind of messing around with this a little bit to try to get it better. Maybe even increasing from the crosslink compact to a ballistic 2. No, has to stay a compact. Okay. Well, that's fine. Either way, I mean, that's a pretty decent amount of DPS on its own. So, and of course, you'd want to make sure you choose the things that drones that we want. If you were going to, we were actually going to wormhole space, I would probably actually go with, hammerheads. Either hammerheads or infiltrators would be fine. Yeah. I'd do that. And that actually even increases your DPS overall. Of course, that doesn't matter if you can't hit with them, but this is just kind of a baseline idea of kind of where you can go. If you don't feel like you need the extra flight range, which is what the fuel cache partition does, and granted that's quite a bit of flight range anyways, you could remove it, and I would just add another field extender. Gives you a little bit more capability, and then at that point, I mean, even your HP a second increases, so you're even safer. And then at that point too, you could also remove that and put in a BCS 2. So, and it kind of evens out to be the same, I guess, but it just depends on how you want to do your missiles. So that's not too bad. I might go ahead and actually save that. For now though, What we want to do is we want to see if there's any way to use the Synesis in like an abyssal. Workbench. And we'll see if we can maybe either win some abyssal life with it, or maybe get it to die horribly in a fire. Oh, and before I forget, probably also want to set. Oops. Set my home station. Oh, I'll have to get out of there. There we go. Okay. Let's see if we can find something that actually works for us. There's a rocket and drone Synesis, which we've already got rockets, and we've already got drones. So it's very possible we might actually be able to use something like this. Actually, what am I doing? Ideally, I should go to the actual Abyss site, not the Eve Workbench site. That would be a much better option. And let's look up ships. There we go. Okay, so they do have a Synesis build. Let's see how effective it is. Okay, so nobody's tried it. No, nobody's. It looks like market history. They got okay, so they do have some latest runs. Looks like electrical. I'm seeing the only reason that somebody has died from it, from electrical at least, is literally just inadequate tank. And these are for, okay, so they tried a T1. It's fair. The T0s, however, worked out okay. So let's see what we're looking at as far as fits go. Okay, there's only one Alpha T1 electrical Synesis. Works. And they use compact lights. Which makes sense, because you want to be able to actually hit them out farther. And there's some DDAs. IFFA compact capacitor flux coil. Okay. So I mean, well, they're saying that's a T1 though. How many runs did they complete with it? Yeah, they didn't do any T1 electricals. They didn't do any successful ones. They did a bunch of T0s, but they did not do a T1 electrical successfully. I would think it'd probably be able to do something like, I don't know, like a gamma, maybe? I would think. Plus 50% shield HP. Firestorm would actually be interesting. You get armor HP increase there. We're already armor set up. And it's got negative 30, 50, 70 thermal resist. So, like, for instance, Or we've got the 58% armor. So I'd probably do... I mean, you could probably also... I wonder if the chart optimal and fall off range on the dark, I wonder if that's also affected by rockets or missiles. I would imagine so. You get maximum velocity on that one. So what you might do... Those are probably fine. The damage... I want to say the damage probably isn't enough. Let's go back. Let's do this. Missile guidance, that's a missile range script. Goes out to 10 kilometers. Yeah, so you'd almost have to do light missiles. Just so you can hit out farther. You don't have to, I mean, obviously you don't have to do rapid lights. Well, let's do... Because these... Yeah, these are 10-second reload. Let's do Arbalist compacts. Let's do that. Let's just pull out some quick charges. Let's fit this for a gamma. Let's take that off. Take those off. We'll take those off. And let's say the gamma's explosives. That's Nova, right? So already that's 132 DPS on its own. Or is that with the drones? That's with the drones. Okay. Let's take this off for now too. So if I had to guess, shield, and it's explosive resist, so we'd probably want to do a compact. Let's do blue extenders. It won't take large. Okay, have to be 80. Do 2 regliths, and then we can actually focus on doing things like a BCS in this case. Do a couple cross links. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Only shield options we would actually have is like and that still wouldn't do anything for us. Actually, maybe perhaps what our best bet would be to put in like a it's like a CPU upgrade, Coproc. That actually might be a better option. And then we can focus on doing our rigs. In this case, we could do small. And then we could do something like, what are we looking at? Gamma is explosive resist. So we'd want to up that. And then what? Just do an extender, maybe? Just to give it a little extra capability? Or we could do missiles, and we could do... make sure we have a little bit more. Doesn't really increase it enough, though. Another option, we could do... where is it? I thought it was engineering. That's what it is. Liquid cooled processor overclocking. So we could do this, take this off, possibly put another one of these on. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, well, fair enough. Yeah, so let's just throw on a field extender, and then we'll go back and we'll drop a crow proc 1 on. This is kind of a general idea. I mean, that's not too bad. The only other thing that I might do, just to give us some extra... well, even still, I don't think I could do anything projectile. No, I guess I could. Wonder how far out these reach. Get something a little bit. So maybe artillery. So I can't quite hit out that far. Or the power grid doesn't let me go out that far, so I'd have to stay with an autocannon if I was going to go that route at all. So instead of that, what about letting me do a link augmentator? No? Okay, well, I guess we'd just leave it empty then. This isn't a terribly bad build. Let's see if we can save it as... save it as a BIS test. And there we go. Now it's saved for us. And this, I mean, granted, we're... that's not what I wanted to do. We're kind of in the far reaches here. But it's kind of an idea. You know, the Sunesis is making up 16.9, almost 17 million ISK of this, of the 53.6. So if you take that out, 43, that's like 35, 37 million ISK. Just to give this a try. And if it works, you know, oh, it's even got stuff in there we don't need anyways. So it's got these things in here that we're not going to be using. So let's actually get rid of those. And let's fill it up with what we actually need to use. Let's do charges. Let's do... what do we... novas. So let's do some nova lights. And then let's also do Caldari Navy Novas as well, because they'll actually help us go a little bit further, I believe. No? I guess it doesn't matter. But the Caldaris, I think, they do a little bit more damage. Okay, so we won't worry about the Caldaris. We'll just do Nova Lights. Let's grab us, I don't know, 1,000? Right? Do that. I mean, doing 40, 80, 120. So we don't really need 1,000. We probably need like 700. Maybe? Oh, I turned off my num lock. There we go. 700's probably enough. Plus whatever it's gonna have in here. Try this again. And yes, we're gonna update it. All right. In the meantime, we'll actually strip everything out of this that we don't need. Said we were keeping that. We don't need this stuff. That just makes life a little bit easier for us. Just here in a little bit, because we do have to take this to Jeddah in order to get what we need. And because I am great at remembering, what did I need? Okay, so none of these rigs. Yes, I know. There we go. Okay. So we are pretty well good to go. And we will head out, grab what we need, make our way back. So we have ourselves a nice, actually I'll make sure I pick up some T0 gammas as well, because we're probably going to need those. I don't think we actually have any T0 gammas in Samela. Calms. Tranquil. Okay, so we've got 10. So we don't need to pick any up. That's good. So we'll get over there and we'll get that going. And we'll see how well we do with a T0. And if we do well enough, then we can actually utilize this as a way to essentially just run some sites, get some content. It's just another fun thing. It's again the 17-18 mil ship just dropped in your lap, and you have to spend what, another 20 mil to run some Abyss sites. It's a bit of overkill, but it is a destroyer. Destroyers on T0s are going to offer us a bit more Isk. The good old Abyss tracker says that as far as where is it? Fits overview. Yeah, here we go. Do all weathers, tranquil. The profitability for a tranquil run of just any random tranquil for a destroyer its minimum usually is around 1.2 million, while its maximum is 1.77. Its average is about 1.4. So 1.4 mil for every 20 minutes in a destroyer. Obviously, you'd get more doing a frigate, and we've seen that with the Retribution, with the Punisher. Makes some great Isk, just gets in there 5 minutes, gets out. But you know, if you're doing this in a destroyer, and it's like every 5 minutes as well, and you're making 1.4 mil, you know, I mean, let's see, what are we looking at? 30 minutes of runtime, right? No, wait. Let's do that real quick. Let's do... Well, actually, we'll just do it like this. Let's say it takes you 10 minutes to run it. So that's 6 runs in an hour. That's 6 mil, right? Maybe a little, I mean, obviously be a little bit more, I'm rounding down. You know, 6 mil isn't a whole lot. But if it's just something you just want to kind of play around in, I mean, that's not too bad. If we can manage to get it up to doing like a calm, then we could make 3.6 mil on average, and that would actually be okay. That would get us in a pretty good situation there. So as far as Isk making, but even on like a low SP alt, like doing it, being able to just do a destroyer with some missiles, and honestly, if you're training to do ratting and grabbing and things like that anyways, you're going to, as an alpha or as a new bro, you're probably going to be training those missile skills regardless, so this kind of fits nicely in with that. So, you know, I mean, all in all, it's just another avenue for you to make a little bit of Isk on the side. Not great, but you know, in an hour you should pretty much have close to enough to grab like a Venture or grab a Punisher and go out there and roam and, you know, shoot some guys, things like that. So it's decent, it's at least worthwhile, and it might even be a little bit of fun. So you never know, right? We won't know till we try. And the whole point of Eve is just trying out new things, so give it a go. Thankfully, I'm in a destroyer doing this, because this would be kind of rough. It would take a long time. Oh, I never did do the server pulse thing. We're at an even 16k people logged in, accounts logged in. Whether or not those are actual people behind the keyboard, as always, we don't know. Probably like 4,000 of them, right? Something like that. But either way, 16,000 accounts online at the time of this posting, at least. So take that for what you will. Give me just a second. trouble on the home front.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Yay, 10 jumps away.
Warp drive active.
4 jumps out now.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Getting so many pings on my phone. It's crazy.
Warp drive active.
By the way, naming of the Synesis is up for anybody that wants to spend the channel points to do it. If you have it. If not, I'll probably leave the name as Rust. It just worked. So there's that. When the Capsuleer Day stuff is done, we'll probably make sure we're kind of locked back at Jitta so we can do more of the kind of intrastation trading that we had been doing. I just really wanted to cover like a lot of the content with the ships and stuff. So that way we had a pretty decent idea of what we could do with some of our new toys.
Drive active.
At least while we still had them. Or while we have them, rather. A lot of the drone stuff is coming up. Oh, we're here.
Warp drive active.
There we go.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Gosh. Okay, so we made it here. We have this the Isk to do the thing. Let's go ahead and pull up the fit. Click to buy all. Only thing that we won't have to worry about getting is the Synesis itself, which is 22 mil. And we also have the Afterburner. Okay, so 21.8, so about 22 mil. Try to keep that in mind. There we go. I'll put everything in there. Okay, let's make it back to Samela. So that's where we need to be. Okay, it's only 3 extra jumps.
Drive active.
And away we go.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
It's a hard change. My computer. We have lots of time to try this too. This is really good. See if we can maybe recoup a little bit of the costs we just made or that we just spent for this. I mean, 22, what did I say? 22, 23 mil, something like that. Still kind of a hard pill to swallow. But we still have enough. We could rebuild that Punisher that we lost way back a few months ago too. So, I mean, if this for some reason doesn't work out, I could always just go back and remake Punisher. And we could just like run missiles until the Punisher comes through. Or until we rebuild. Could also just do wormhole content. It just really just depends on the direction we want to go overall.
Warp drive active.
Oh, where I forget. Let's do that. I mean, once we get the Isk required, we can fit out the Gnosis and we can go ahead and take it into wormhole space and see if we can maybe find actually we should be able to fairly easily find a C2 connection somewhere that we can just kind of mess around in for a while, because we at that point we don't actually need to question if we have a specific site or whatever. It's just literally we just go in and see, oh hey, is this a quiet wormhole? Let's stay here for a while. So C2s, at least in this particular sense, are going to be a lot easier to manage. I think we can also take the Gnosis into dead sites. Could also do the dead sites with it. That might actually be decent enough Isk wise. We might actually even start working towards trying that content, since that's actually content I've never done before, is the dead sites. I've done high sec anomaly sites. I don't know, I mean, it doesn't really provide you a lot of Isk, but it's like I was saying last stream, you know, it's something that we can do. You get 10 of them and you get the escalation. So that's at least worthwhile and beneficial to a degree. But excuse me, like doing a dead site where you scan them down and then you run them, that might provide a little bit more interesting content. Finding those combat sites to run, because it's like at that point, how many people are running them? You could probably even do something like that. I bet you could even do it in the Astero. Can't believe I forgot the name. Stratios, yeah. I bet you could do it on a Stratios. That would be my guess. But it's definitely something to try. I wouldn't mind. I mean, throwing 300 mil into a dead site that possibly get the Stratios blown up doesn't really sound like a great time to me, but it would be fun to see if it could actually work. That could really could provide us with something pretty decent on the stream here. Boy. Heck, I may just take keep talking about wanting to use my main. That would be the easiest way to actually test the Gnosis. It's with my main in the C2. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what direction we can go. We have to go, that kind of stuff. I may just start to do some recordings for it and putting them up on my YouTube. Okay, we're about 9 jumps away. We'll go ahead and go try those. Try those abysses. Nothing. Let's hope we can find out.
Warp drive active.
I love Slack Lobby. It's so good. Such good content. Keep it coming, Slack Lobby. Okay, we are about 6 away.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Pull this out. That way that's ready.
Warp drive active.
Oh, I guess we've got a bunch of tranquil electrical. I should have stopped at Tar and grabbed that stuff. And Monarch, because apparently we've got some Monarch.
Warp drive.
Just to kind of clean it all up. There we go. Now that that's updated, make it a little bit easier to just run in there and grab the stuff we need.
Warp drive active.
Okay. Oh. Now that we've gone through so many flashing lights, let's go dock up, get our filaments, and go do more flashing lights. Oh yeah, and I probably need to create a fleet. There we go. Just so I can fulfill that, because I believe I have to be in a fleet since I'm using a destroyer filament.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
I'm fairly certain. All right. Let's get those gamma filaments. Let's actually just do 2. You know what? I picked up some Fed Navy hobgoblins and I didn't need to, didn't I? I bet if I look over here. Yep, I did. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. Oh well, that's all right. We'll have them for next time. You always need more drones, so this just works. All right, we should have, yes, we have an abyssal spot.
Warp drive active.
We've got our abyssals in our abyssal spot. All right, let's see what kind of goodies we can acquire today. Just gonna go ahead and pull this in. I was gonna pull it out, but that's awful. Why is this going crazy? I don't know. Those don't look like important icons for me, so. All right. Let's use it for destroyers. Activate. Please activate. Okay, here we go. Let's hope this works. If not, I guess we're gonna go boom. Have to get to 32 kilometers. All right, so here we go. Can lock onto that now. Launch drones. Send drones after dude. Yeah, so far so good. I mean, well, at the very least, I mean, just for this. Start attacking that. Listen to that missile cry. Now, if we were doing this like legit hardcore, like we're wanting to min-max as much as we can, I'd probably go ahead and use the correct drones for gamma, make sure I got the correct missiles, that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's not really the direction that I went. Like I said, this is really more or less just a trial, so. striking. Damn it. We're actually gonna head towards that. Drones will probably make quick work of that guy. I don't know. All things considered, we're actually doing really, really good. I say that. Let's pull the drones back in. We don't want to lose our drones. But we can't just keep using missiles on this thing, so good enough for me. We're about 3.5 minutes in, so nice. Right. Done. And done. Good deal. Boy, it really is. Why is it struggling so much? It acts like it's struggling to me. It acts like it's struggling on its own. How strange. Anyways, here's the Lancer. Okay. There we go. Send him over here. Okay. Yeah, so we had about 1.2 mil, and it took us, we're gonna say 6 minutes. So we could probably hit about 10 runs. That's about 10 mil average. And that's if we're doing them back to back to back to back. Let's go ahead and go dock up. And we really didn't have too many issues there. I mean, it was just a quick go. I mean, it was a little bit slow in some cases, just depending upon what we were fighting. But we didn't really do a bad job here in this case. So.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, so yeah, on all of this, 1.2, just on the filament or just on the red loot alone, got 1.1. That's not bad. And then of course we have the scoped armor up here. So that's, I mean, honestly, it's not too bad. I am interested at this point to see if we can do the T1 gamma. Have any calm gammas? We have, okay, we do have 11. Go ahead and grab 2. We've got everything we need. Oh, no, don't do that. So let's go back in. This time we're going to go into a T1 and we're going to see if the T1 gamma, if we can actually manage to make it through in this particular fit. The T0 really did good, like really, really well. It did, honestly, I want to say it did just as good as doing it in a Punisher, but just more expensive. So I kind of don't want to just say, hey, let's spend 40 mil to do a T0 in a Synesis and make 1 mil run in every 6 minutes. That doesn't, that's not really very profitable as an, I mean, whether you're a bitter vet or new bro, and then while it's enjoyable and relaxing, if we're going to be doing the same amount of work, let's just do it in a Punisher. Let's not even bother. Like at that point, yeah, it's fun because it's trying something new, but it's also not, you're almost wasting your time a little bit more than you would be if you would just do it in a Punisher to T0. So let's give this a shot. See if we can make this do what we want it to do. And if not, like I said, die in a fire. And that'll be the end of it. We're going to find out. Stay tuned for the riveting conclusion of this story. All right, here we go. So we got some Damavix. I'm just going to go for the biocache. I'm not gonna, or sorry, the extraction node. Where is it? I don't know where anything's at. There it is. Okay. I'm just gonna go after, yeah, I'm just gonna go after the biocomp. That thing. The one we're always supposed to go after, that provides us the most loot. That thing. We'll just call it that thing. Take out the Kiki. See what we can do. Okay, well, they're definitely doing a lot more damage to me than I thought they would at this stage. Okay, so we definitely would want to take out the Kikimora very quickly because that's the one that's doing the most damage. No, I guess they both use the but the Kiki did do the most damage. So. Okay. Doesn't really leave us with a whole lot of shields though to play around with, which is unfortunate. Oh, I guess I had some Caldari Novas. Oh well. I didn't even realize that. That's okay. Ooh. Okay. Now that they're all attacking us, let's launch these out. Okay. Not bad, honestly. So far at least. I mean, I am able to hold my own, so we're doing good there. That was 1 million, so that's not bad. So we're now up to like 1.8, yeah, 1.9. And my shields have recovered pretty significant, pretty sufficiently, I should say. We're attacking one of my hobs. Okay. Still got one more. And orbit. I'll start doing damage to this thing. Okay, that's room 2. And we are a little bit past 6 minutes in. Not too bad. Looks like they are healing one another. The real question is going to be, can I break their tank? I think the answer might actually be yes. This is room number 3, so... Again, another million. So this is a little bit more viable, assuming it's survivable. There we go. Okay, yeah. And I kept it around 30% shield, so. Realistically, that's a pretty decent turnout. Almost, let's see here what we got. 2.9, so 3 mil for 10 minutes-ish, I'm gonna say. 6, 9, 12. About 18 mil. If we do, assuming that we can survive for like an hour's worth of T1 destroyer redding, I could see this being viable, assuming we don't lose our ships. Of course, there's the ramp up, so. Clearly starting to do more damage to me, more and more and more. So. And we'll let the drones finish them off. Just like that. Okay. That's well worth it. Kits us a little bit closer to the edge, which is kind of where we want to be. We don't really want it necessarily to be too safe, because if it's too safe, it's not rewarding enough. It's not risky enough. We're not making as much as, you know, risk reward, that kind of thing. This right here is a really good compromise. I'm gonna head back to Sisters. We will grab let's grab 6 more calm gamma filaments, so we can do this 3 more times. Let's see if we can kind of get a similar turnout all 3 of those times. And if I lose the other runs, then I guess I lose the other runs, but it does seem pretty viable. So
docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
we'll continue on. I'm gonna go ahead and drop these in here. To column gammas. Grab those. Okay, let's go back and give it a shot. We'll see if we can kind of repeat this process. Oh, I didn't repair my drones.
Docking permission requested.
Let me go back and repair the drones real quick. Might as well make sure we got a fully leveled, repaired, you know, rack of drones and things like that. Did it not go? Why did you not go?
Docking permission requested.
I did that.
Docking request accepted.
Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, now let's head back out to our little spot.
Warp drive active.
Okay, that's fully done. Using it for destroyers. Activating and activating. All right, here we go. Poof. Okay, so we got 3 Lancers. Let's quickly get ourselves going. Should be able to target all of them. And we're gonna go ahead and get these guys out. Start attacking them right away. We should be okay against them. Space Cat's starting to wake up. Yeah, they're not hitting the shields too badly. Take this out. Watch over that guy. I mean, they're hitting pretty hard, don't get me wrong, but it's not, realistically, it's actually not that bad. If I could just figure out why. Let's change these to passive and see if that matters. Yes, did you wake up? My space cat woke up. She was asleep this whole time, and she finally just decided to wake up. A little bit hungry. My shields are holding pretty well, honestly. Right there at 55%. Okay. I mean, really, this is actually kind of surprised at how well this works for a T1. I see my drones took a bit of a hit, but it's all right. I'd probably want to try to change some things up. I don't feel like they're doing enough damage, or I don't feel like it's doing fast enough damage. But overall, I do feel like it's working out. Lancers and an escort. Okay. Just take out the escort first. Forget. Oof. Ow. Well, I can't say that I'm too upset by the whole set. Hey, don't do that. Good. Be good to my chair. You know that. Come over here. Come on. Yes. Took them a long time to return. Why did they go? Out of my range. Oh, I bet it's that cloud. Yep, velocity. Where did you go? Yes, hi. Hi. They can almost see you. Uh-huh. Do you know I can't see anything now? What? You come over here. Here. Come on. Yes, they just saw a tail fly past. You're on camera. Silly cat. Why did this... It is doing some weird things in room 2. You stay right there. Bumping my camera. You're bumping my camera. Come on. Yes. There they go. Okay. All right. We have take out these damn clicks on my own. My drones are taking care of the Teslas, which it apparently cannot do because that armor repper is really strong. There we go. Take out the other Tesla. Origin conduits. This is the last room. It actually did pretty good, so can't really complain. I mean, I guess I could complain. Nah. Not going to. This was good. I think my poor cat wants to complain, though. Care of that, and this particular run has taken us 12 minutes to do. So some runs are a little bit longer than others, but at least we're not running into a situation where the timer is essentially beating us down. And even like right now, like this is going to be over in just a few seconds. If our hobgoblins could ever actually manage to track. Probably shouldn't be using hobgoblins. I should probably be using the Caldari navies. I think those have it's either the navies. I think the navies were the ones that had better tracking. So they're actually going to be better in that regard. And once again, they just stopped tracking again. I know that's not me doing it. So I wonder if it's a bug. That's about the only other thing that makes sense. Okay. So that was the first run. And in all honesty, that was actually a really good run too. Made it out with about 2.8, not including whatever this ends up selling for. Right? Yeah, 2.8 even. Not bad. We'll jump. Bunch of ember needles again. Go ahead and launch. Reactivate. Started. I can't. So these are going to go down really quick. So this particular run, I mean, at least the first room, no big deal. We are using light missiles, so they will apply very, very well to these frigates. Tracking speed bonus helps us, and it helps the enemy. Let them do that. Ooh, a Dampovic blueprint. Okay. It's not good. Go ahead. Suck these guys back in. I'd rather not lose a drone if I don't have to. Excuse me. I mean, realistically, we do have enough time here. We could probably fairly easily and fairly quickly take care of like these nodes and subnodes, which is good, but there's not as much of a need to, since that's not where most of the loot is at anyway. Attacker Marshal. Okay. Well, now. And that one's very far away. Oh, and to make matters worse, sounds like we have medium range deviant suppressor. Okay. He's still a little bit too far away. I can't do anything about him. Not yet, at least. He's certainly trying to do something about me, though. That's for sure. Once I get a little bit closer to him, I actually should be able to launch the... Oh, and he's actually... should be able to go ahead and send my drones out to him now. He's pretty far away, and he should be far enough away from the suppressor that I won't have to worry about my drones losing health. Okay. So the real trick's going to be probably to get under his guns He's firing a lot of rocket, though. I'm going to orbit him pretty close to the mark. Ow. Make sure we don't stop, apparently. Wow, that hurt. All right. Howee. Well. Okay, so if I manage to live through this, I'll be really surprised. Come on. You can do it. All right, well, we made it. Sorta. We're at least alive. Give ourselves a minute to breathe. Because we still have one more room to go through. So let's give our shields a minute. We do actually have quite a bit of time. We've yeah, we've only been in here for about 5 or 6 minutes, so keep in mind that the Despero is not a close range, which is what I was thinking. So we'll probably have to stay farther away, I guess. That would be about the only thing that makes sense to me. Man, though. We made it with 8%. Oh. Take sure of that one. And send that on up. That's pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and head over. Okay, a Kiki and a Damavek. Take out the Damavek first, since that's likely going to be the healer. I'll be doing both. Let's try to make sure we can hopefully kill 2 birds with 1 stone in this one. Yeah, I lost it. Okay, that's fine. Or put this at 500. Round 2. I figured I was going to lose a drone eventually, so it's not a huge deal. Come on, take him out quickly. Quickly. Well, this might be the end. Maybe. It's still banging me. This is crazy. Come on. This thing is devastating. Yeah, this might be the end of me. Yep, that was it. Oh, I was so close too. Wow. Okay. Yeah, if I would have had that extra drone, I would have probably out DPS'd him. Hmm. Yeah, I would have. I guess now I just hopefully don't have to wait for my timer. There we go. There we go. Okay, finally they did me in. That was a pretty, honestly, that was a pretty crazy run. So, I obviously made some mistakes there. Seems like it's totally doable though in a Sunesis. And honestly, if I would have had maybe some more armor, or even some more hull, I might have even been able to squeeze out of that with some damage that had to be healed. It's not too bad. Disappointed I lost Sunesis, but that was kind of the whole goal, was to see how it worked out, how things did, and I think they did pretty well, honestly, all things considered. So from here, the next thing up would be actually I will probably get the Gnosis set up for trying some missions. I think we'll do some level 3s to Isk back up with the Gnosis, and then perhaps maybe even take the Gnosis in at some point for some C2 wormhole ratting. Try that and do that. My cat is very active. She is letting me know that my reactor is fully charged and it is time to get back into warp. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and hit that warp drive button. And until next time, I'll see you in the verse.